Rasheeda stormed into the room with fire in her eyes, her heart pounding as she replayed Jasmine's words in her mind. The news had hit her like a tidal wave, shaking the very foundation of her life. She wasn't just angry, she was devastated, betrayed, and ready for answers. "What did you just say?" Rasheeda demanded, her voice sharp and trembling. Jasmine leaned casually against the wall, arms crossed, a smirk playing on her lips. "I'm pregnant." "And Kirk is the father," Jasmine said, her tone nonchalant, as if she had just mentioned the weather. Rasheeda's heart sank. Disbelief, pain, and anger swirled inside her like a storm. "You think you can just walk in here and say something like that? Are you out of your mind?" Jasmine shrugged, her expression indifferent. "It's not my fault you couldn't keep him happy. He wanted this." Her words were like daggers, cutting deep into Rasheeda's already raw emotions. She clenched her fists, her voice rising. "You think this is some kind of game? You're trying to destroy my family over a mistake." Jasmine stepped forward, defiance flashing in her eyes. "Oh, this isn't a mistake, Rasheeda. This is real. You can't just ignore it or wish it away. This baby changes everything." Rasheeda's blood boiled as she took a step closer, her voice low and venomous. "You have no idea who you're messing with. I won't let you take my life away from me." Jasmine laughed, but it was cold and bitter. "You're in denial. Kirk made his choice. You're just holding on to something that's already gone." The tension in the room was unbearable, thick with unspoken words and unresolved emotions. Rasheeda's breathing grew heavy as she tried to steady herself. She wasn't just fighting for her marriage, she was fighting for her dignity, her family, and her sense of self. "You think you've won," Rasheeda hissed. "I'll fight for my marriage, my family. You won't just walk in and take everything away from me." Jasmine tilted her head, her smirk turning smug. "Fight all you want, but love doesn't last just because you're stubborn. He's tired of your drama, Rasheeda." Rasheeda clenched her fists, her voice trembling with rage. "Drama? You think this is about drama? This is my life, my family, and you're nothing but a mistake he's going to regret." Jasmine's mocking tone pushed Rasheeda over the edge. "Mistake? If anything, I've given him something you couldn't. A reason to be happy." Before she could stop herself, Rasheeda raised her hand and slapped Jasmine across the face. The sound echoed in the tense atmosphere, and Jasmine stumbled back, her expression shifting to shock and fury. "You have no idea who you're messing with," Rasheeda spat, her body trembling with adrenaline. Jasmine straightened, glaring fiercely. "You think a slap scares me? Please. I've dealt with worse." The room was electric with anger and pain as Rasheeda paced, her mind racing. The betrayal, the rumors, and now this confrontation, it was all too much. She thought about everything she had sacrificed for Kirk, everything she had done to hold their family together, only to have it torn apart by his actions. Taking a deep breath, she turned her focus to Kirk. She had to know the truth. "Kirk," she said, her voice trembling but firm, "I need you to be honest with me. Is it true? Is this your child?" Kirk's face turned pale, and for a moment he looked genuinely confused. "Rasheeda, I don't know what she told you, but it's not what it seems." "Don't lie to me," she yelled, her emotions spilling over. "I've given you everything, and this is how you repay me." Kirk stammered, his voice cracking. "I made a mistake. I was weak, but it didn't mean anything." "Didn't mean anything," Rasheeda shot back, her voice shaking with disbelief. "This isn't just some random fling, Kirk. This is a child, a life, a betrayal of everything we built together." Kirk tried to step closer, desperation in his eyes. "Rasheeda, please, I'll fix this. We can fix this." But Rasheeda shook her head, her tears finally spilling over. "Fix this? You can't fix this, Kirk. You didn't just betray me, you betrayed our family. You made a choice, and now we're all paying for it." The silence that followed was deafening. Rasheeda fought to keep herself from breaking down completely. She had always been strong, but this felt like too much to bear. "You've shattered my trust, Kirk," she said finally, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. And trust is something that once broken can never truly be repaired. As she turned to leave, Kirk reached out, grabbing her wrist. "Please, don't walk away. I love you." Rasheeda froze, her heart aching at his words. But love wasn't supposed to hurt like this. Love wasn't supposed to destroy. She looked at him, her face filled with sadness and resolve. "Love doesn't betray," she said softly, pulling her hand away. "And it doesn't tear families apart." With that, she walked out of the room, leaving Kirk behind to face the wreckage of what he had done. Rasheeda stood frozen, her emotions swirling like a storm. The weight of Kirk's actions bore down on her, and the pain of betrayal was almost too much to bear. With tears welling up in her eyes, she pulled her arm free from his grasp, her voice trembling but steady. "What you did is the opposite of love," she said, her tone cutting through the tense silence. "How can I ever trust you again?" Kirk's face fell as her words sank in. His lips moved, but no words came out. He could see the heartbreak in her eyes, and he knew there was no quick fix for what he had done. Rasheeda took a deep breath, trying to keep herself composed. Her heart was shattered, but she wouldn't let herself crumble. "I need time to think," she continued. "You've destroyed everything we built together, and I don't know if I'll ever look at you the same way again." Without waiting for a response, she turned and walked out. The cool night air hit her like a wave, grounding her in the chaos of her thoughts. For the first time, she felt both lost and liberated. The betrayal weighed heavily on her heart, yet there was a strange relief in stepping away from the toxic cycle that had consumed their marriage. Inside, Kirk stood motionless, the gravity of his actions finally sinking in. He replayed every mistake in his mind, realizing that he might have just lost the love of his life. Their 25-year relationship had been a roller coaster, filled with highs and devastating lows, but this felt different. This felt final. The cracks in their marriage had been visible for years, but Rasheeda had always been the glue that held everything together. Despite Kirk's repeated infidelities and betrayals, she had chosen to stay, hoping that love and loyalty would win out in the end. However, this time, Kirk had crossed a line that might be impossible to come back from. Their relationship had been the centerpiece of love hip-hop Atlanta, with countless dramatic moments playing out on screen. From Kirk's on-camera betrayal during a cast getaway to his denial of paternity when Rasheeda was pregnant in Season 2, their love story was riddled with pain. The DNA test he took in Season 3 only added fuel to the fire, leaving Rasheeda humiliated and heartbroken. Rasheeda had endured it all: the public scrutiny, the rumors, and even clashes with her own mother, Shirlene. Who could forget the fiery confrontation where Shirlene ran over Kirk's motorbike? Through it all, Rasheeda had tried to keep her family intact, juggling her career, motherhood, and the challenges of a chaotic marriage. But now, as rumors swirled about her finally leaving Kirk, it seemed she had reached her breaking point. For years, she had put her happiness on hold, prioritizing their marriage despite the constant pain. Yet, this latest betrayal felt like the final straw. Rasheeda wasn't just walking away from Kirk, she was reclaiming her life. She had given everything to their union, but now she was choosing herself. Her peace, her dignity, and her happiness were more important than staying in a relationship that continued to break her spirit. Meanwhile, Kirk sat in silence, replaying their conversation in his mind. He knew he had made terrible choices, and the consequences were staring him in the face. He had always believed that Rasheeda's love was unconditional, but now he realized that even the strongest love has its limits. When asked about his next steps, Kirk spoke with a mixture of regret and determination. "I've made mistakes, there's no denying that. But I want to fix this. I want to fight for our marriage." His words sounded sincere, but Rasheeda had heard it all before. She wasn't sure if she could believe him this time. "It's not just about saying you'll change," she had told him earlier. "It's about proving it. Trust is broken, and rebuilding it won't be easy." Kirk nodded, his voice soft but firm. "I know. I'm ready to be honest, no more excuses. I want to show you that I can be better for you, for us." But Rasheeda wasn't ready to forgive. The wounds were too fresh and the pain too raw. As much as she wanted to believe him, her heart told her to be cautious. Outside, she stood under the night sky, her breath visible in the cool air. She thought about all the years she had invested in their relationship and the countless times she had given Kirk another chance. This time, she wasn't sure if she had it in her to do it again. Her mind wandered to the people who had supported her over the years: her fans, her family, her friends. Many had told her to leave long ago, but it had never felt like the right time. Now, as she faced the prospect of life without Kirk, she felt a mix of fear and empowerment. Choosing herself wouldn't be easy, but Rasheeda knew it was necessary. For too long, she had put others before her own happiness. Now, it was time to put herself first. As she walked back inside, she glanced at Kirk one last time. "This isn't just about you," she said, her voice steady. "It's about me. And I deserve better." Kirk didn't reply. He just watched her, knowing that the road ahead would be uncertain, but hoping that somehow he could make things right. But for Rasheeda, the future was clear. It was time to move on. Asked about his next steps, Kirk spoke with a mixture of regret and determination. "I've made mistakes, there's no denying that. But I want to fix this. I want to fight for our marriage." His words sounded sincere, but Rasheeda had heard it all before. She wasn't sure if she could believe him this time. It's not just about saying you'll change, she had told him earlier. It's about proving it. Trust is broken, and rebuilding it won't be easy. Kirk nodded, his voice soft but firm. I know. I'm ready to be honest, no more excuses. I want to show you that I can be better for you, for us. But Rasheeda wasn't ready to forgive. The wounds were too fresh and the pain too raw. As much as she wanted to believe him, her heart told her to be cautious. Outside, she stood under the night sky, her breath visible in the cool air. She thought about all the years she had invested in their relationship and the countless times she had given Kirk another chance. This time, she wasn't sure if she had it in her to do it again. Her mind wandered to the people who had supported her over the years, her fans, her family, her friends. Many had told her to leave long ago, but it had never felt like the right time. Now, as she faced the prospect of life without Kirk, she felt a mix of fear and empowerment. Choosing herself wouldn't be easy, but Rasheeda knew it was necessary. For too long, she had put others before her own happiness. Now, it was time to put herself first. As she walked back inside, she glanced at Kirk one last time. This isn't just about you, she said, her voice steady. It's about me. And I deserve better. Kirk didn't reply,